Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Metal Forever Music Defenders of Metal podcast. We're here in the not so glamorous basement studios of Metal Forever Music and the Defenders of Metal pod. Today, we're excited to be joined by the band Wicked. We're getting a member, Danny. I think they're on the road, so they should be joining any minute. These guys are native to Rochester, New York. It's where the Defenders of Metal pod is also based in. And 24/7 rock and roll kind of story because they all live together in the same house and they've been living together for a long time. And they're celebrating the release of their new single called Go Rebel. It just charted top 10 on the secondary market rock radio charts, which I was not that familiar with, but I certainly am now. They're heading on the road with Vicious Rumors, which is they're a metal band that I guess I started listening back to them a little bit last night. I wasn't all familiar with them. And they're definitely traditionally heavy metal, but Wicked's more in the rock, glam rock, kind of different genres all mixed together. So we're going to talk with Danny in a little bit here, listen a little bit more about their style of rock music. They do play with Flying V's, and they got Marshalls, and I've seen them live a couple times. They're loud and heavy, right on the edge of heavy metal, but they also have heavy metal influences as well. So we appreciate everybody joining. We're here to celebrate their single, the kickoff of their tour. They've got a whole album coming out this summer, and the full band is Chad Michael, Scotty V, Danny, who we're going to talk to, and Gunner. So we got the whole guy. Hey, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, Mark? Can you hear us? We're all around.
Yeah, man. I can hear you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, perfect.
All right. I know we're a little, I'm trying a little new home studio here, so we'll see how it goes today. I appreciate you guys joining. You guys are out there on the road, right? You're out there in Rhode Island?
Yeah, man. Getting ready for the show.
Yeah, nothing like a show day. So I appreciate you all joining in. So we'll try to keep it brief and get to the point with everything. But it's cool to see you guys. Just a little refresh. I watched the show with Metal Mayhem Rock yesterday, and Vernon Maddock, and he and I were together actually when we went to that historic German house back in the day when you guys were recording that video. Yeah, that was I think it was 7 years ago. He said, right, already.
Wild, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining on a show day because I know how hectic those things could be. Have you guys loaded in yet?
Not yet, man. We just went over. We're like, hey, we're in New England. What can we do but get some good food, right? Yeah. So some Bloody Marys and salmon and fish tacos. It's like, this is what tour is all about. Find the good food spots.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hey, if you're up there in Rhode Island, maybe you get some lobster while you're at it. So let me start with this, if I may. Okay, so you guys are, you put out the track Rebel. It's gotten, good reviews, very well received so far. I think that's your second single, and I know you have a full length coming out this summer. I know there's been an evolution of the music since you guys started. And I know that you guys aren't 100% heavy metal. I think you're right on the edge because you got the Flying V's, you got the Marshalls. You guys play loud and heavy. I've seen you. But, how would you describe kind of the genre? And not that you always want to pigeonhole stuff, but it seems to go with the territory, right, in this rock metal scene. So describe a little bit kind of what you were going for with this album and what people can expect.
I think, well, to touch on the first point is, you're right. We do walk that line. I think it's what we call high energy rock and roll, something between, like if you would have saw US or the Scorpions back in the 70s mixed with a whole bunch of other badass stuff in the mix. So it's like, we try to keep to our rock roots, but there's so much aggression and ferocity on the stage that, it just hits hard, man. So
especially for this upcoming album too.
Yeah, we definitely brought in a bunch of influences. I mean, the first single we dropped was Obsession, and that was really heavy with like melodic hard rock, and even, I mean, Gunnar was like,
got a breakdown and stuff.
yeah, he was like,
found a lot of different influences into that song specifically.
definitely a driving force from the drum aspect on this album, and how do we start there in terms of our creative process and let that kind of drive the songwriting. Gunnar went out with Vicious Rumors to on a European tour, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so, like, we've been on this Raven tour. Gunner's been out with VR solo, helping them out, and a lot of influence from some heavier stuff. So it's definitely seeping into the bloodstream of our writing for sure.
That's cool. I went to the October show at Photo City. I think it was around Halloween, and you all did a Black Sabbath tribute show. So clearly,
Oh,
the metal piece is in your roots, right? And Vicious Rumors are definitely a metal band. I must admit, for lack of sounding like a poser, man, I didn't really know that much about them, but I did start listening to them, so they're heavy. But yeah, I mean, so it must be in your DNA, right? The heavy metal roots, especially if you all did a Black Sabbath tribute or around Halloween.
We love Sabbath. It's one of our big influences, and we get together with very dear friend who's actually a part of the band Operation, and his name is David Newman, a killer guitar player from Salem, Massachusetts, and we do that Sabbath thing once a year. It's kind of like we've known bands like out in Sweden and everywhere who will do like the Kiss thing once a year, Christmas or this or that, a special event, and we're always like, Sabbath. That's what we got to do because that's our bloodline right there. I think a lot of the heavy stuff too comes from Gunner. It's like I said, the drums were really driving the creative process, and
it's a lot different from the first record if you listen to that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exciting. And by the way, I saw that it looks like you all hit number 10 on the secondary market rock charts.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. A band from Rochester, New York, That's
Yeah.
killer. So when did you guys find out about that, and like how did that happen?
We made a conscious decision that we wanted to work and put in the work against radio, which is something that I don't know, like maybe people overlook sometimes, but it's a tried and true method that's been around for obviously years. And active rock has really really taken to songs like Obsession and even Go Rebel, and we appreciate it. It's a great outlet for us to connect with a whole different fan base, subset, people who aren't just on Spotify. Distracted listeners is what I call them. These people are
Yeah.
focused in, they know what they want, they know what they love, and we love that about radio. So
Yeah.
we're super excited to be a part of it, and to work our way.
Do you all find that with so many different, musical outlets and platforms and people scrolling, lack of attention span, that it's cool to be on these different mediums, or are your fans like finding you no matter where you go at this point? Or is it a combination of both? Like people happen to scrolling around and stumbling on you all and or your diehards, or how would you describe, I guess, connecting with fans that know about you and then identifying new ones and getting new people into your music?
It's definitely a combination. We'll tell you a couple of quick stories, but remember we were down, where were we? Florida?
Florida, yeah.
We were like in a Planet Fitness, and
Oh,
some kid like walked by us and he's like, "Hey, are you guys in Wicked?" And we're like, "Yeah." Like what? Like, "Oh yeah, I heard Sunburn on my playlist on Spotify." You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like some workout playlist. So it does really happen in all different areas, but I like that you're able to use these different mediums to get to different subsets of people, and of course the best is live, right? Like
yeah.
we always say that, the big thing for us is community, which this album really resonates with. It's less, this album that's going to come out this summer called Go Rebel. It's less about us as like a very egocentric, piece on us being in a band. It's more about the
Less
community and
self-reflective, more
yeah.
relatable.
And anyhow, like when you actually go out there and you maybe go to see somebody else's show, or you're just the four of us are rolling up to breakfast and brunch bistro, you know what I mean? Like that's where you're like meeting people. It's like hand to hand combat. You're actually on the,
Boots on the ground.
yeah, it's pretty cool, and that's where people get so excited and where the real magic happens. We're lucky to have radio and the Spotify's of the world and all that stuff, but our favorite outlet is definitely being on boots on the ground and meeting people in person.
Yeah, it was interesting. I remember the first time, and I'm not even sure how Verno and I ended up at the German house when you guys were recording that video. Maybe Chipster told us. I don't know, but regardless,
Probably.
I saw the theatrical, almost like nature of your performance. It was kind of like almost like a Kiss stripped down a little bit. And, but it was very in your face and almost personal. And then when I saw you live, I think it was that Sabbath show. I might have seen you one time before that at Water Street or something here in Rochester. But I think I mentioned, Danny, I think I told you, man, I was like, hey, man, that was like an arena show in a club. It was like, and you were like, oh, man, that's cool. Like, yeah, I think you're right. And I feel like that's like the performance you're kind of bringing. Like it's almost like that throwback. It could be definitely in an arena. It's got that arena rock, vibe. And I guess credit to you all, because it sounds like, that's kind of what you're going for. And I think that's what's hitting a lot of people when they see that live performance for the first time.
I think a long time ago, Mark, we made a pact and we said it doesn't matter where we're at, what size the stage is, if the stage has got holes in it, or if there's two people in the crowd, but we got to play like it's Madison Square Garden, right? And I think that there's a piece of magic in that thought process, and there's obviously a chemistry to keeping that together. But we just have so much fun doing this. Like we're talking about going out on this run with Vicious Rumors for 6 days, and it's like, man, this is what we live for. Like we wouldn't want to be anywhere else, really. Like it's something special, and we don't take it for granted. So
Yeah, no, I think, actually, I know that you guys started in Rochester, you go to Rhode Island, and then you're coming back for the hometown show tomorrow night, right? So,
put us through the ringer.
hey, that's rock and metal right there, man. It's as rock and roll as it gets. Yeah, it's interesting you said that because I've worked with some other bands, and sometimes, like you said, you get out there and you're like, oh man, the crowd's smaller than you anticipated. But this day with like video and people posting on social media, like you never know when a clip's going to hit it or it's going to go viral, but then again, you walk out on other nights and the crowd's packed, right? You guys have played all of it. So I guess that piece of it goes with it. Cause if you're out there and you're performing and you're putting on great shows and you got fans coming, you never know what's going to be captured at any moment.
They all make their own memories, that's for sure, which is super cool. And hey, like you were talking about the routing, we're just gonna put a couple of Zyn packets between Gunner's toes and let him just drive all night, and it doesn't show. So,
dude, I had to drive 10 hours with a boot on one time after I had Achilles surgery in a freaking minivan, and so the guys were like, "Yeah, hey, we'll take turns driving," and they all started drinking in the back, and I was like, "None of you guys are driving." But I know people have asked you this probably a lot of times, more than you care to talk about. But I mean, you guys are unique. I think it's funny because I talked to some people lately that have kind of been learning more about like the music industry or like what bands are, and a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you mean like these bands actually don't always live together? Like Judas Priest actually goes to other homes, like in between tours and recording." And but you guys are truly like you guys are a real band like that. Like you guys are living together. You're touring together. You're recording together. I mean, you're living and breathing it 24/7. It sounds like. I mean, how does that keep going for you all? Who's answering?
That's the way the band functions, man. I mean, I think that's the key to success for bands too. When you stop being together as a group and doing things together, that's when it starts to fall apart.
it's all the in betweens, right? It's like you just said, it's making it back from that long day of the day job, or stopping to get that lobster roll, or things that Gunner while he's doing sound check, and
We're creating memories
having a good laugh
24/7.
about it.
And there's no opportunity missed. I mean, anybody has an idea, we're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go down to the studio and cut a track or whatever it is. We're always
Yeah.
together. Easier.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what's again credit to you all again. Like what's refreshing about you guys, like you got every time we see you, you're looking the part. You're wearing the rock and metal garb. You're talking about, but you guys are also, you can tell you're having fun, man. Like whether you're on stage, whether we're talking like this through a podcast platform, whether you guys are hanging out after shows. I could tell you could see that spirit's kind of rubbing off, right? And do you think that translate into the music and the live performances, just the chemistry that you guys have in that way?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's no question, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything's real with us. I don't know if we could fake sell it. We just enjoy it. And it's just the real.
On the other hand, you can tell when I'm pissed that that's something, if something's moving on me, or
Yeah, we were at
Yeah, it's like a real
No,
show. Part about rock and roll, I always say, is you don't know what you're going to get, right? Like, we could sit here and tell you, like, we're bringing you 110%, you'll get that, but you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the amps fall through a window, or, gun falls apart.
Marcus, we're gonna make it through no matter what.
Yeah. And we promise you it'll be a show. So
no, that's great. And look, even I'm sure you guys have help when you get to the venues, or on occasion here in Rochester, you probably got, I guess, roadies for that lack, but at the same time, probably no strangers lugging in and lugging out your own gear on occasion, right? Especially the good. I heard that, by the way. Speaking of gear, I heard you guys went to Nam and kind of revamped everything and got some new fun toys, right? So that's trickled into your sound.
Tell them a little brief about that. I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
some
we
cool.
we just got a whole new rig for ourselves. We're all going. We got Speaking of lugging heavy gear around, we've got to really nestle down to just having pedal boards for all of us guitar players. So we're just bringing out these like amp simulators. We got the highest top end models, the quad cortexes. They sound, you can't even tell the difference once you plug them in. So you just, we're so plug and play. You put the guitar pedals down, plug them to the front of house, set his drums up, and we're good to go.
Yeah, and it's cool because we want to keep it like that, the way AC/DC would have it on a stage where it's like just blowing your head off, even if you're standing like right in front of it, but clear. With these amp, sims and stuff, we also have like some awesome clean power stations from Seymour Duncan that are going to be sending that signal back to the amp speakers on the
Yeah, so if you're
stage.
standing in front of the stage, normally if you're not getting the PA at you, you can't hear it on stage. So we got to
That's the
have the
word,
stage
yeah.
loud. Yeah.
It's cool though. Like I said, we want to make it a full on rock show. So it's no frills. Everything is 110% high voltage. So
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, there's nothing better than still having that little stack of Marshalls behind you a little bit, right?
right.
But you're right. I think the technology is improving, so it's easy to just, like you said, plug into the front of house. I think when Nita Strauss came, she had her guitar and her little whatever, her little big Boss station, little rig up. She plugged into the front house, and all her effects were there, and off she went. It was cool.
Easy.
Hey, so if I may, with a bigger expanding catalog now, and I know you guys got to get to sound check soon. How do you is the set list becoming a little more tricky? Trying to throw in the favorites, some new stuff, maybe a couple of cover tracks here and there. How do you guys kind of start shaping the set list these days?
It does get tricky. I'll say as an example for this tour, we've got a really special one. It's got a couple of classics that, are tried and true. We know people won't, want to walk away without hearing them, but we've got, stuff that's just released, mixed in well. And then we've got this limited CD that we're only selling at shows here on this run of shows. And there's a few songs that haven't been released, but they fit so well with this like more heavy, hard hitting set. And so we mix those in, and I think we always sit down and we try to map it out, and we try to put ourselves in the shoes of the fans and think about like what's kind of the theme, what's the vibe we're going for
We
these
also
shows.
fight with ourselves a lot because we love to put the new songs that nobody knows
Yeah.
out there.
Right?
I
Yeah.
like them out too. It's kind of
It's
like
cool
we've
stuff.
always been a band that likes testing out the new material before we record it. So there's always a lot of that.
Yeah.
So one or two songs are always going to be, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It's cool because I do remember, I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, but during that Sabbath set, I think you guys played a new track, and it's always cool when you hear something live for the first time and it holds up to everything else going on that night, and you're like, oh man, that's a cool song, and then
That's
as
it.
a fan, you definitely want to go back and check it out, Okay, so just a couple more so we can I know you guys look, I appreciate you guys coming on a tour day. And at some point, we're all from Rochester, so we'll get you to a real studio and we can do this. Oh, I know. I had one question I wanted to ask you. Speaking of studios, in that video, Rebel, it looks like you guys are in a really cool studio. Gunner, whatever that wall was behind the drum kit there, and the big board, was that in Rochester, or did you guys go somewhere else to record the album?
That was in Penfield?
Linden Oaks.
Linden Oaks, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's hidden little place, but just awesome gear, awesome room.
Well, Steve Gadd goes there and records all his drums all the time. All the HBO stuff is done there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that little jingle they did for HBO. That's where it was written and recorded.
Yeah.
So that's like its
Wow.
weird left to see. Now it's also ours.
But you will never know that it's there. It's crazy.
I was gonna say, actually, I think you guys mentioned that's kind of your home studio, huh? When you guys are here, and you guys rehearse there too, or is it just record?
We got our own studio at the house where we'll do kind of like all the pre-production and rehearsal and stuff. But we've been going to Linden Oaks for recording for Go Rebel, and then for another album that we have in the works after Go
The
Rebel.
drums just sound so good in that room.
Yeah.
It's
Get a great
Yeah.
lot.
yeah.
So much space.
I learned during that final show with Ozzy that I didn't know this before that Ozzy, Randy Rhoads, those 3 live songs they recorded was right here in Rochester at the High Falls.
Well,
Like
it's
that's
Yeah, right on East Ave.
Crazy.
Heavy metal history right there. Metallica to Kill 'Em All here. Penny Arcade with Motorhead, and it's a lot of tradition. So you guys come from a good rock metal town, you know?
That's it.
True.
So, oh, I know. I was gonna add, this is a silly one. I think somebody said something about you guys are into like muscle cars or whatever. So if what style of muscle car would Wicked be? Like if you guys were a muscle car?
I gotta make it what? I gotta make it fight.
That's not fair.
Yeah, because Scott's kind of in love with like what?
I kind of like the 80s, 90s, like Camaros and Corvettes and stuff. He's big into the 60s muscle cars.
So I think we can meet in the middle and probably find like
in the middle of 67 GTO.
yeah. I love that.
I'm a Dodge Viper guy. It's not a good Viper. Yeah.
Just make a custom one, man, like a hybrid of all of them, man. It'd be cool. Let's see you guys cruising.
We might have to if Scott crashed this.
Hey, they crashed
Cruising
into
into
me.
the bug jar. Be awesome. All right, last question in a way. I guess it's a two-parter. What are you guys kind of tired of people kind of asking you all the time? So when you do these interviews, you're probably like, oh man, here comes the same question. But on the flip side, what's the question that like nobody ever really asks you all that you kind of wish they did?
Oof.
Oh, that's a
Great questions.
Is your hair?
Yeah, it's kind of early on.
Or yeah, like what for 80s band. I mean, we don't really we like the 80s stuff, but it's never been like a big influence on us. And you know, for whatever reason, that's always the first one they ask.
For me, nobody talks about drums ever. So yeah.
Well, nobody really
And thank
cares.
God. And thank God, really.
Nobody
I
really
mean,
cares.
It's waste of time.
What kind of wood is your drums made on?
That's it's cool. Striper when they play the drummer's sideways, man. So you could like he's part of the more part of the show. Gunner, maybe you should.
The stage where you can't see him.
now we're talking. Now it's and we tell them that we would like raise them up, but we never do.
Oh, the lip got broken. Sorry.
It got broken.
It got broken.
They ain't got
Just stack some Marshalls in front of them. Oh man. Oh, that's great. Anyway, man, look, I know you guys are look, it's cool that you guys even decided to jump on this little interview here when you're on the road. I hope the video comes out a little stronger than what we're getting right now. I think the audio will be super great, but we're going to get this thing out and posted. But hey, it's rock and roll.
That's it.
Like I said, I appreciate, again, every time I've ever had experience with you all live, after shows, just even doing this, like watching your videos. Oh, one more thing. I know you guys mentioned you guys were out on the Sunset Strip and you guys were meeting some of the legends and you guys were talking about chicks, I guess, which is cool. But I don't think there's any girls in that Rebel video. I think some of your older ones definitely have them. What happened there?
Well,
there's one in there.
Listen, we're in the studio. We're in the studio. We gotta, if it looked like we were, focused, that's what we're there for. We just gotta
no distraction.
No distraction.
All right. Well, I know you guys have no shortage of those opportunities, perhaps. Cool, man. Well, look, I greatly appreciate you all joining. I think it's have a great little tour run with Vicious Rumors. They're like I said, they're definitely heavy and metal, which is great. I think that new single is great. I really enjoy it. I think fans are going to enjoy it. And to your point, if anybody gets a chance to see you all live, you're going to bring the raw power and the excitement, and you guys are having fun with everything. Good luck back here in Rochester at Photo City, and can't wait to see you guys again soon. And like I said, next time we do all this, we'll go to a real studio and record it that way if you guys are down with it. But
we love.
Before we forget, last parting shots. Where can people find you all? Like, give us the socials. Where can they find the new tracks? Where can they get to your website? All that. Where do they see your tour dates?
WickedRockandRollOfficial.com. That's all the tour dates, merch, wherever you want to find there. It'll take you to the socials too, but the socials are at Wicked Rock and Roll. That goes for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, Facebook, all of it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your all's time. Have a great show. Have a great little run here. And I know you guys got big plans moving forward once that album drops in the summer. So we'll be following along. And yeah, man, I know you guys will have a great time tonight. So keep it heavy.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Rock on.
All right. See you guys soon. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There is